I wanted to say hello as your candidate for Ohio governor and an eccentric one for sure. I'm going to do one of my personalities now. It's one of my childhood heroes in the areas of civil rights, his mentorship of Bill Cunningham on 700 WLW. And I hope I do it okay. I try. Uh, but I'm going to lay out the facts about some racism uh, that I've experienced in my life and lost a lot of friends over, especially when it all came to a head under Trump. This all started back about the year 1992. I hired in, believe it or not, because of a friend of mine named Rodney King at British Petroleum, 9010 Lebanon Pike, underneath the tutelage of Sharon Rife and Troy Hamilton. It wasn't long until I got a co-worker who was not Caucasian, and her name was Yvette Robertson, and a fine, fine lady she was. And then pretty soon, I got blessed with one more person who was a little different than my country ass in Roy Martin. And as time went on, we became friends, and there was more and more people that I became associated and knew. Some of them Middle Eastern, some of them pharmacists, studying at the University of Dayton. But I remember Roy Martin got pulled over in a Canary LTD, and it was a classic. And he got arrested for having a box cutter in his car, allegedly. But he was in there for about a week before finally he got out and come back to work and did a fine job. His past experiences in Clinton County at Emory that he shared with me. But there was the question of racism, profiling, and I became aware of it before that even, because my family is diverse, and I've seen the struggle many times, but I've seen a struggle lately that's different. I've seen a struggle with communication, not only in language, but in mannerisms. Some people are afraid of confrontation, and they don't speak up. They don't have a voice like my friend, Mr. Anthony Vines, had conversations with me because he knows me. He looks in my eyes and he knows I love him. Sometimes he don't know, though, whether he should share the information with you or not about what's going on the inside of him. I try to understand how things work, but I'll never understand injustice. Not when you've studied the law, not when you're inside the courtrooms, and not when you're representing society. It has to be for everyone. The judicial system is there for the corrections. If an officer makes a mistake, they amend the ticket, guilty or not guilty. These plea bargains are causing people to have records under charges that are not the charges that the police officer wrote up, but they give you an option of a lesser punishment if you'll agree to be convicted. They do that for the prosecutor's benefit because the prosecutors become politicians. And those are the things that we have to be aware of. When we see it, it's our job as journalists, as the watchers of our children, to let the world know This is going on, and it's wrong. And it ran rampant under Donald Trump. I lost everybody. My family, most of them died. My friends, somewhat uh, disrespected me. There was undertones about the diversity of my family that got louder as these white supremacists took the White House. And then it became abundantly clear to me. It's because of my belief system. You know, the one that says all men are created equal under God with liberty and justice for all. I ask you, if you're a lawyer, a student, a parent, a citizen, or just someone who's concerned, look into the case of Anthony Vines on Stewart Street, arrested sometime, I would say around 2000, maybe even before that. He was sent to prison by the University of Dayton Police Department, arresting him and then sending him where they're supposed to Montgomery County, and then in front of a Montgomery County judge. And the judge sentenced him to prison for stealing a credit card, purchasing a 12-pack of beer, from what I was told by the arresting officer. I was witness in my own retail management position of a basketball team send a fleet of coaches over to cover up for the university's reputation a freshman basketball player, one who was highly touted locally, one who had connections into the inner circles of the legal system. And for season tickets, my company did not prosecute. Did UDF or Speedway or Shell receive the same? We don't know. But there's something wrong when you can overlook Cleveland Browns owner rebates way over $5 million. You can overlook for a basketball player. You can overlook an inordinate amount of drugs because you've got a lawyer. Well, the person that represents you in court for free is a court-appointed lawyer. He's not there for free. He's there for the justice system that he has studied and lived under. And if all you attorneys need to go back and read the Republic one more time, our country's falling apart at the seams because we're getting away from the process that the soldiers have fought for in these wars. It's called due process. If you're in there as a free lawyer, it's because you make so much money that we're asking you as a society to help our underprivileged brothers and sisters by presenting the facts methodically and citing case law and trying to fight for your client to get the same or less than. It's not to agree to plea agreements and close the case and move on. Someone has to take up the fight right here in Ohio for my friend. Not for him, not for me, but for the next one. The next person that gets thrown in jail. The next person who gets rinsed, recycled, repeated until they walk around in the streets homeless, sad, and on heroin. This is not right. I need someone to take this civil case I've got more information than you care to deal with, I can promise you. It is about misogynism, it's about racism, and it's about harassment. And they're hiding behind some type of federal guidelines, I guess you would say. It's not fair. It's no more fair than to sit back and watch people celebrate a person being shot that had Skittles in his pocket by a man who was a security guard uh, and shot and killed him. There isn't any reason to think that was okay. Stand your ground law is not what that was. Wake up, America.